Hey, Coach, welcome to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe down below and click up above. That way you'll be notified of everything that kind of comes through. If you're looking to win championships, if you're looking to have a messy basement like this, but a basement like this, go down over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It's the resources, it's mentoring, it's the one-stop shop for basketball coaches. Go over and check it out. Have a great day.
All right. Welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops.
Coach, how are you?
I'm excellent. Whenever we get to talk hoops, I'm in a good mood.
I know, right? All the bad stuff goes away.
All the bad stuff goes away. Yes. All the work that I have to do around the house and things to do list.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't stress me quite as much. All right.
And when I tell my wife that I'm doing a podcast, she goes, "Oh, okay." It's not like, but you had to do your honeydew list first.
Yes. All right. Before we jump in, I'm excited about today, and I want to make sure we leave enough time for all of my questions about the Blitz offense. Let's give a big shout out to our sponsors. First of all, GameChanger. We love GameChanger. I used GameChanger, Coach, the other day for my team. It was great. A parent videotaped, and they were able to I was at my son's parent weekend, and I wasn't able to go to the fall league for my son, and parent videotaped it, and I was able to watch it. It was awesome. It was great.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a new tool coming out too that we're going to have one of the product guys on the phone that I'm pretty excited about. They're launching a video annotation. So you can make notes on video, thumbs up, thumbs down, real time or afterwards, right? And share that easily with your players. So not to be cliche, but that's a game changer as well, where you can use film now at the younger levels. That's, you know, basically free to coaches to educate players and boost their basketball IQ by just showing them clips of their games. So anyway, look for that coming up, but go to gc.com/coaching youth hoops. Check out all the amazing things that GameChanger does to simplify what you do as a coach. So again, gc.com/coaching youth hoops.
All right. So today we're going to talk about the Blitz offense. Big buzz about the Blitz offense. So if people are doing this, we'll shout out the URL a couple times about the Blitz, but
yeah,
can you tell people where they would find more information about this?
Yeah, if you go to coachingyouthhoops.com/blitz, you will find everything you need to know about the Blitz Youth Motion Offense.
Okay. All right. You ready?
I'm excited. I have no idea. First off, I have no idea the questions Coach is going to ask me. So I'm assuming that I'm on the hot seat right now.
You are on the hot seat. This is exciting. So we have not done this before. This is a first for Coaching Youth Hoops. We're gonna have to have you interview me or something at some point. All right. So first question is, can you explain the Blitz offense and why is it effective for youth coaches?
Yeah. So basically the Blitz blends zoom action and motion principles all in one offense.
And what's the zoom action for coaches that don't know that?
Yeah, so zoom action is down screens into a ball handoff. Why that's important at the youth level, a couple of and I'm going to say not just the zoom, but the zoom with the continuity aspects and motion and some dribble drive, kind of to blend all that together, and they had a baby, you would have the Blitz offense. And it takes the best of all of those things and puts it together in one easy to grasp offense that grows with your players, and as their basketball IQ goes up, so that the offense has more layers to it as well. But the where it was born out of my own frustration of running a motion, some read and react stuff, dribble drive. What I saw was I always had a wide range of youth players. You have my really good players and the other players who were just kind of new to basketball, and I saw that was one reason. The second reason was the when you think about a 5-out motion at the youth level, I had ball watchers on weak side. And they were just waiting to, their
That's
turn to
common with
do
every
something.
offense. I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I created a set of rules for the weak side to do while the ball is, while the ball is on the other side of the court. And what it does, it creates a huge triple gap for driving lanes. And that was the other reason I always had very inconsistent outside shooters. So I never had the 3-point specialist, right? So I needed to create driving lanes. So those really are the three reasons why it was born, just
Okay.
out of frustration of trying a bunch of combinations of different stuff that just didn't suit a youth basketball team.
So how does it, so here's my question is, how is this
Yeah.
different than just normal motion? How is this different than other offenses like, flex or read and react?
Mhm.
I mean, how is it, what makes it unique other than the handoff?
Yeah. Yeah, the continuous movement from side to side of the ball is one thing with very little effort. And with a few dribbles, you're moving the ball to the other side. It's less complicated. So, well, let me just put it this way. I'll rephrase that. You can make it as complex as you want it. So to fit your team. So was just talking to a third grade coach, or yeah, third grade coach. And I said, well, don't worry about the reads off of it. Just get layer one down. And at the third grade level, it's basically, if you can imagine, coaches, the zoom action where you're just doing two down screens on both sides and then coming up for a ball handoff. And that alone will get you a long way at the youth third and fourth grade levels. And then and what I have found is if you have players that are a little bit more skilled, they they start making the reads themselves on their own, and they will notice things that the blitz uh, creates, and they'll see those gaps and they'll see opportunities to roll to the basket when they don't have the ball themselves or open up. And so that's the flexibility of it. It allows all five players to be involved in the play, and they do things based on really what their skill level is. And then over time, what I've noticed, those less skilled players say, I want to do what he's doing or she's doing, right? And then they step up and start learning and doing those more advanced things that the blitz allows you to do. Uh, but you asked really truly, what is the difference? Again, it goes back to if you have a wide range of of talent on your team, there is some pattern to it, but this is key. There's also reads off of it, right? So it's
Right.
not just always a patterned offense, which is beautiful. And it's less complex, honestly. You can get the, it takes
Simplicity
away too
kills.
many
Yes.
decision points,
Right.
right? So what I noticed again is on weak side, players stopped on a motion offense they from paralysis of analysis, right? They just froze. What do I do? Do I set a down screen? Is this one I'm supposed to cut? Do I cut in? I see that they're in trouble on the other side, so I'm going to go in, and then all of a sudden that person is driving. You take away their driving lanes, right? So they were freezing because there was too many things for them to do, honestly, right? Or that they could do. In here, there's a bit of structure which kids need, in my opinion, at a younger level, but then it allows coaches to teach them fundamentals, so the offense expands as those fundamentals and skill level increases.
I love that. So okay, so walk me through the initial setup of
So it's
how you would,
yeah.
like, the initial setup of it. Like what should players or coaches focus on if they're thinking, okay, I want to maybe run the blitz. This sounds intriguing.
Mhm.
What are the first stages kind of thing?
Yeah, the first stage is really you're set up in a 5-out formation, and your ball handler dribbles out
It's a
one
mouthful.
side. I know. Oh my gosh, I'm having trouble talking. You're the person with the ball. How about that? dribbles out one side. So as they are dribbling out one side, the weak side is also setting the down screen. And on the ball side, they're dribbling out one side. That wing, just think top to wing, is setting a down screen on the player in the corner. Okay, and then simple motion at that point is the
Right.
person in the corner comes up, they get the ball handoff, and it repeats on the other side if they can't get a drive, right? But let's just assume that the basic motion is two down screens, strong side, weak side. Players are then come up to receive the ball on the strong side. The other player from the weak side comes up to get another ball handoff, and it just goes back and forth that way.
Okay, so what
Layer one, very basic.
very late. Okay. So let's get a little deeper and go. Okay, so that's the
Mhm.
basic initial setup. How do defenses try to stop this? Do they double? Like what's the counters because every defense is trying to stop an offense.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the counters or what does the
Mhm.
defensive things do to kind of try to stop the blitz?
That's a great question because this is where they'll zone. They'll try to zone. They'll go
Okay, what do you
2-3
do with that?
zone
I was going
on
to get to
1-3-1.
zone in a second, but we can dive into zone
Do you
now.
want me to?
Yeah, do that first and we'll come back. What do you do against the zone first?
Yeah, so against a 2-3, nothing changes. Nothing changes. And it's beautiful. It just
Wow,
works
that's not
against a
true.
2-3
Is that
zone.
true?
Yeah. Yeah. You set the down screens on the 3, and you end up creating a lot of gaps because the ball's moving side to side and the defense can't keep up with that motion and they get impatient
Ooh, I
and
like
they
that.
start leaking it and it actually becomes a one-on-one situation.
Okay.
And it takes about, say, 2 rotations where you're really exploiting those gaps.
So
I mean, think about a traditional
so to
5
the
out.
from the
Yeah.
right side to the left side to the left side back to the right side, and then
hmm
it kind of is exploited, or you gotta go back one more time.
Usually in the second rotation back,
Patient.
like you said,
Okay.
you're going to get a
Okay.
gap that's
Okay.
opened up and you penetrate the gap. I mean, think about how we used to teach how do you beat a zone? You overload one side, you do
Right.
skip passes,
Movement.
uh, penetrate the gaps, move the ball quickly, right?
Right.
You know, so that it takes away all of that. You just have to teach one offense. So you got
Okay.
your man to man and then your zone. We
Okay.
played man to man. Again, goes of course man to man, 2-3 zone, 1-3-1. We've seen it. The only slight change is against a 1-2-2, but you're still setting down screens, and it depends on how aggressive that 1-2-2 is.
Okay.
But we have a specific counter for a 1-2-2. We call it volley, and it literally just absolutely destroys the 1-2-2 in a pretty quick manner.
Okay, so let's
You
go
get
back to
layups.
the initial question. I like that about the
Mhm.
zone because that will take care of my zone question I had on my list.
Yeah.
But we go back to like what do defenses like? I always like to talk about counters and what are they going to do? Are they going to double the hand? I mean, what do defenses do? And then what's the
Yeah.
counter for the blitz?
Mhm. So a couple things. So like I said, they'll try to do a zone. They'll try to do a sagging defense like a pack line. They'll try to push the person coming up from the corner out high so they can't get the ball handoff. Uh, I mean, of course, they'll try to double the person with the ball during the ball handoff, but not as much as I had expected that they would. The biggest thing is pushing that person either trying to do the ball handoff high, right towards midline, or the person coming up to receive the ball handoff, they'll force them out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Okay.
Yeah,
So then do you want the counters to those
yeah,
things?
yeah.
Okay. So against the zone, we talked a little bit about that. You at 2-3, you run about the same. Well,
Right.
1-3-1, there's a little bit of nuances, but it just changes where you set the screen. Um, And then where some of the more simpler things is, let's say the person coming up from the corner is getting pushed high, they back cut.
Okay.
They back cut immediately as
Yep.
they're coming up because the defense is right in their face. There's also what we call a messy keeper, where the person still comes up and the ball handler keeps the ball, um, rotates, pivots into the defender, and it allows the person coming up from the corner a wide open layup if
Okay.
it's executed correctly. So it's called messy keeper. It's inside of the blitz. Very, very specific counter. It's one we run a lot because we see that they're trying to jump and get in between the ball handler and the person coming up from the corner. Um, the other option is, or the other, they're trying to push the ball handler who's coming across from ball side to weak side. They're trying to push them high towards the midline. What we do there is we teach a square retreat dribble attack, because the gap was naturally created because they pushed our player high. So
Okay.
that just comes down to a smart ball handler or one move. We literally practice the retreat dribble every practice.
Just
There isn't a practice that goes by that we
well,
don't
that leads into
work
my
on that.
that kind of leads into my next question, because I'm hearing these coaches in my head going, "Oh, this sounds really
Yeah,
intriguing, and I like it that it can work against a zone and it can work." I mean, this is what I would be thinking, and I'm learning this along with them. So
yeah.
how do you implement, like, what drills you do, what practice things you do? Because that's the next
hmm
step. It's like, oh, this is intriguing. I'm always wondered about my anyway.
Yeah,
What would be your bit of advice with that for youth coaches teaching the blitz? Like, how does it work
yeah.
in
No, it's a good.
practice?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, one of the things I highly advise is it does not matter what offense you run. I don't care what it is. If you can't put the little ball in the big hoop, if you can't dribble, it really doesn't matter what you
And
have.
shoot, you can't dribble, you can't win. Yes.
Yeah. So at the younger levels, third, fourth grade, of course, even fifth grade, I don't care what offense I'm implementing for that day. The majority of that practice, let's say it's a 90-minute practice, is ball handling, shooting, and ball handling under pressure, shooting, layups, finishing moves, just learning the fundamentals and with a little bit of the blitz and defense and things like that, right? So that's,
Okay.
we
Yep.
work on at the third grade level. Day one, they learn it in about 10 minutes
Okay.
max, right? Down screen, come up, ball hand up, down screen, come
Yep.
up, ball hand up. And then you can teach them, okay, we'll look for the gap, drive, penetrate, right? Then we start layering it on that way. But typically what we do is we break it down into quarter court. So we're doing 3-on-0 drill to start, and then a 3-on-1, 3-on-2, and then 3-on-3, just quarter court. So half of the half, right?
Right.
We want to confine space, limit on what they can do. So it literally
Constraints. You're putting
builds
constraints on
and
things.
putting
Yes.
constraints on them. That's right. Yep. And yeah, we just kind of rotate through the 3-on-3 because I want some defense, of course, on there, and we ratchet the defense up. Hey, just play ghost defense to start. Just do we get the flow, and then play a little harder and a little harder, and okay, now we go live, right? But you got to stay in the quarter court. So we just do breakdown drills of the simple zoom action to a ball handoff, and we work on a ball handoff and a pitch. The ideal situation is a pitch, and my older players will do a pitch versus a ball handoff because we don't want to stop the momentum of that person running up from the corner to come and get the ball, and it creates better opportunities off of a pitch versus a ball handoff. Ball
Okay.
handoff is a jump stop, right? And you just turn and hand the ball off. A pitch is you're throwing it to the person as they're coming up.
Okay. Couple more questions, couple quick ones. How do
Yeah.
you deal with pressure, either in the full court or the half court? And is the blitz work for that? Like, because in the youth level, there tends to be a lot of trapping or pressure or presses or aggressive
hmm
defense kind of thing. How does it work versus that?
So just like with any defense, right? If you got, I mean, offense, pressure is tough, right? Let's just talk about it in the half court. Pressure is tough. So we have a few counters if they're really, if they're sending two on the ball, even, right after half court. Um, we have they literally just created the gap for us, so we get it to I have the kids still run the down screens and come up for the pass at the top of the key instead of a ball handle if they're getting pressured. Uh,
Okay.
so that's one counter that we do with pressure. Now in the full court pressure, I hint about it. I have the best press break that man has ever created.
I would disagree. I think my press break is the best press break ever. We should do a press break thing. That'd be
Yeah, we
great.
should. Yeah.
Yes.
I need to, yeah.
My press break is
That's
never,
the
no
only
one in
thing I
20
hold
years
on to
ever
is my
broken
press
my
break
press
because
break.
it's so good.
I
Yeah.
think mine's better. I don't know. I
What's
don't
it?
know what yours is. Mine has never
I
been
actually don't. Is yours the 4 across?
the sideline.
Yeah, sideline. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
worked. It's always gotten my
Mhm.
best ball handle of the ball moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a tease for you people. Keep listening.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the last question is mistakes. Are there any mistakes or misconceptions or issues that people have about the Blitz that you would want to squash or
Oh,
help with?
that's good. Yeah.
These are
Another
good
good question.
questions, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really good questions. Way
Yeah,
to go,
thank you.
coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, this I'd love to say, oh no, there's not, right? But of course, right, not every offense is going to solve all the problems that you have. And again, it really just comes down to your personnel. Do you have just enough kids that can run a, again, depending let's talk about third grade, a pattern to offense to start, right? Can they grasp the basic fundamentals? Can they do at least two? Can everybody at least do 2 dribbles without turning the ball over? Right? That's what the blitz allows for. Um, and then do you have at least one playmaker? So again, if you have just basic fundamental issues, don't try the blitz. Like, don't try dribble drive. Don't try
That's
read and
honest.
react.
Like you shouldn't.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Go, don't,
Go,
yeah.
go work on some
Flex,
skill work first.
work on some skill work first, and just, you know,
Okay.
pass,
I hear
cut,
you.
fill, pass, cut, fill, right?
Okay.
So,
All right. So where can they find more information about the Blitz offense, coach?
yeah. And I want to make sure before we'll say that one thing I do want to emphasize though is the unique nature about the blitz is it's creating triple gaps, and those gaps, it opens up gaps for driving, especially when you don't have shooters. And that's
Explain
really what the
single,
unique
double,
nature is.
triple gaps to the youth coaches, please.
Yeah,
Explain
so
that.
a single gap is just basically one pass away. Double gap is 2 passes away, 2 people away. Triple gap is 3 people away. Right? Simple as that, right? Is that simple
Any
enough?
coach listening to this, you could probably score on triple. We don't get many triple gaps at the high school
Yeah, at the
level
high school
at
level.
all,
Yeah.
ever.
No, yeah.
If we
Yeah.
did, we're
You
dunking
could,
on.
yeah, right.
And maybe even a
And the
double
triple
gap.
gaps too. Yeah, what's that?
Even a double gap, if we get a double gap, we're going to exploit you to no end. So those are hard to come by even, but triple gaps are crazy. They're like unicorns.
Unicorns.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just to that point is we work on a ton of finishing moves because you initially have the triple gap, but it closes quickly and the lane closes quickly. So you have to learn how to finish under pressure, right? So we work on a ton of different finishing moves, and that's also in the blitz and the finishing moves that we do. We call them our daily vitamins, and
Right.
it's 3 minutes rotations.
Take your vitamins.
All of the finishing moves.
I take
Sorry.
AG1 every day. Take your vitamins. And they're not sponsors, so I'm not going to talk about them. Anyway,
Where
talk
to find the
about
offense.
Yeah, offense. Talk about where they can find more information too about it.
Yeah, so go to coachingyouthhoops.com/blitz, and you'll find more details about it. I detailed it out. There's a video in there. You can see some of the initial setup of it. There's a
Okay.
coach's interview, just like we're doing now, but we're actually showing
Okay.
some of the details of the blitz.
Perfect. I will put that in the show notes, so don't pull the car over. And awesome. Thank you. I feel like I'm a blitz expert now, Coach.
You're gonna start running the blitz at the high school level. We got a lot of actually do
am
have
I
a lot of high school coaches running it too, so it's pretty
really?
fast. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, again, it's finding the right offense for the right team. And this depends. But all right, till next week, Coach.
Till next week.
Hey, Coach, so glad you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed it a lot. Actually, if you did, subscribe and like, and then go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better.